When I heard there was a fire here, for many reasons, I didn't come back that night. It was dangerous on the road. There's 100-mile-an-hour winds. But I also didn't want to see the house on fire because I need fire to make my work, and I was afraid of developing a fear of fire. But when I finally came back, I was struck by this image of the chimney standing. It's kind of lost its partner, you could say. It's lost the home that defines its existence. But it took a long time for me to realize there's something really meaningful about making an object that feels restless like that and trying to materialize an absence, like a missing home. Because this was my life, and it's been so terribly transformed, it's created this fracture. As time passed, it became very important to me to recreate the chimney in the same method of construction that this one was made, but in a new material. I like this idea that the sculpture could really visibly be made of many parts. I've been working with UAP on another project. They helped me engineer the whole internal armature and come up with the plan for moving it safely, and chimneys are not supposed to move. I asked Christian, the mason, if he's ever moved one of his structures before, and he said, no, they're not supposed to do that. I'll get very materially inclined and make components, see what I've made. I really wanted the chimney in some kind of translucent material, and glass bricks ended up being structurally the best choice. It was very meaningful to utilize and control fire and use it to recreate, reconstruct, and finish this sculpture. I've recorded, scanned, photographed this chimney in a lot of different ways. And in the end, I really wanted to work with a chimney mason to recreate it. Since he was trained in the same skills that built this chimney, there is some kind of lineage coming through that labor and that craft that also connects that chimney to this chimney through like the bodies of individual makers. I didn't want to go with some clear mortar that was trying to act invisible, because I feel, again, like this labor of creating the chimney was really important, and I wanted it to be pronounced. I couldn't have done it without everybody. I mean, everybody was just so locked in. There's a hallway that leads to the terrace. In that hallway, there's 5 framed prints. 4 of them are actually embossed imprints of different doilies that I inherited from my grandmother. The central one is a flocked ash doily that was made with the ash from my library that I reclaimed from the burn site. After you pass those 5 prints, you head out the door. From there, you can immediately see the chimney. You would then notice the path embedded in the ground that reflects the same pattern as my home's path. And then as you get closer to the chimney, you would see a corten steel cutout of a different doily that's not sealed. So as the show progresses or any weather happens, it'll continue to rust onto the terrace. And then notice the screen. The video is an animation made of CT slices. I CT scanned doilies that were burned in the fire that magically we were able to reclaim. The CT scan basically travels through the stack, so you can see in minute detail the threading. It almost looks like embers again, but we think it might actually reflect the slight density of those burned edges of the doilies. The doilies themselves are kind of somehow re-imaging what happened. I'm very interested in creating works that speak to other life or other objects being passive recorders of history. They sort of create these connective tissues between generations. It's really important for me to create ways to unify these timelines. It's my hope that this can connect with people who feel a sense of displacement in various ways or are struggling to understand what home means for themselves. It's not comfortable to put myself out here this way, but it's very real. I like this idea that the sculpture is standing in all the elements, day or night. I think there's a metaphor there as well. There's obviously rebuilding happening around here, and I think there's been a lot of hope for a new future. I don't know the outcome, but I know the steps. And I keep taking the steps, and I hope something's there. Things change, but that doesn't mean the future's lost. It just might not be the same.